everyone, today we are going to see the summary of Socialite Evenings by Shobha. Before that, let me introduce the author. Shobha is an Indian novelist and columnist. She is best known for her depiction of socialites and sex in works of fiction, for which she is known as the Jackie Collins of India. She founded and edited three magazines: Stardust, Society, and Celebrity. Now, it's about the overall novel. Socialite Evenings is Shobhadi's first novel. It describes Mumbai high society and explores the lives of bored, rich housewives trapped in loveless marriages. It is about the decadence of the elite who have traded their traditional culture for westernization and materialism. Now let's move to the chapter-wise summary. Chapter 1. The novel begins in the first-person narrative with the narrator Karuna speaking of her early childhood. She was born in a remote village in Maharashtra and later moved to Bombay. Being born in a strict Hindu family, she felt extremely controlled under the domination of her father. At school in Bombay, she makes friends with Charlie, and with Charlie's influence, she becomes a rebellious daughter, breaking the rules of the family and school. With Charlie's help, she becomes a part-time model against the will of her parents. She likes a rich designer named Anjali, to whom she works as a fashion model. Chapter 2. Karuna goes to Anjali's house and discovers Anjali's husband Abhi to be a playboy and finds a portrait of Mimi, Anjali's daughter, hung in the mini house bar. The next day, Karuna meets C, a lustful rich woman in Anjali's office. Karuna then goes to Delhi for a modeling expedition. After returning from Delhi, Anjali meets Karuna at her house. Karuna felt ashamed of her middle-class house. Being the daughter of a doctor, Anjali adjusts to the situation, for she comes from a middle-class background too. Chapter 3. Anjali invites Karuna to her beach party. Karuna is embarrassed to change into a swimsuit. Karuna meets a rich ad agency owner and has some fun time with him, which makes Anjali jealous. Later, Karuna goes to New York on a vacation where she meets the same ad man. He asks her to live with him, but she refuses and returns back to Bombay. After returning and having been associated with rich people, Karuna breaks up with her boyfriend Bunty because of his middle class life. Chapter 4. Karuna marries a rich man who had once been her college senior and admirer. They have a super lavish wedding which Karuna resents. For the first time, Karuna's father is happy with her decision. However, Karuna doesn't know why she accepted his proposal and shows regret in her narration. Chapter 5. Anjali divorces Abhi and is devastated as she thinks that a woman cannot live without a man. Likewise, Karuna is not happy with her husband. Karuna's husband soon becomes a rich man in Bombay equal to Abhi. She feels marginalized in her house because of her extremely busy husband who doesn't care about her existence and is a typical mama's boy. She expresses hate for her domineering mother-in-law who always interferes in her life. Karuna spends all day reading classical literature books. Chapter 6. Anjali sends her daughter to California and develops an affair with a married income tax official and breaks up with him when he advises her not to wear glamorous, revealing clothes. Again, she develops a relationship with a French man Pierre and breaks up with him because of the unhygienic surroundings of his middle-class house. Chapter 7. Karuna wears a simple sari for a party and is scolded by her husband for not being like other rich women. Karuna hates parties and doesn't like expensive jewelry and clothes. She meets another socialite Ritu in the party who advises her how to deal with her husband. Chapter 8. Anjali takes a 24-year-old boy Karan for a lover, but he breaks up with her for her possessiveness after slamming a doorknob on her eye. Anjali's father dies and she is not allowed to see his final rites by her mother, who thinks she is a disgrace to the family. Abhi takes an Anglo-Indian mistress, Gigi, and sells his interest and spends his time gambling. Anjali makes friends with a starlet Nisha. Chapter 9. Karuna's elder sister divorces her husband for he has taken a mistress. Ritu develops a relationship with Karan, Anjali's ex-boyfriend. Karan becomes possessive of Ritu, which she enjoys. Ritu loves to attract the attention of men. Chapter 10. Anjali gets married the second time to Kumar, who is marrying the third time. The marriage takes place in an extremely grand manner. Two rich guests, Feroz and Safar, get into a fight, the latter stabbing the other, which makes Anjali's marriage get into the newspaper. However, Anjali discovers that Kumar is gay, his mate being Murti, the helping boy. Chapter 11. Ritu finds out that her husband has a mistress and they get into a fight hitting each other. Anjali meets Abhi again and gives him a toe massage. She invites C and Karuna to her new house, Kumar's house. She decides to start an interior decoration business. She has planned the decorations for Kumar's Janmasthami celebration party, for K is a devotee of Krishna. Anjali invites Karuna and Ritu. They see a handsome Hindu priest Babaji who obviously looks like a fraud to them. Anjali is a great devotee of Babaji, but Ritu tries to seduce him. Karuna develops an affair with her husband's friend Krish. Karuna joins the theatre but spends most of her time with Krish, which her husband is unaware of. Chapter 13 and 14 altogether. Karuna exchanges letters with Krish. She is crazy about him, but he doesn't show any seriousness. She goes to London in the guise of meeting her sister, lying to her husband. She wants to go to Venice from London and meet Krish there. Her husband discovers her infidelity when he finds Krish letters in her cupboard. He goes to London to meet her. They fight but then reconcile. He finds her attractive after another man has tries to seduce her. Chapter 15. Karuna's sister Alak goes insane after a certain traumatic experience during her childhood. Ritu's next affair is with a smuggler Gull and she leaves her husband. Kumar's house is raided and Babaji is arrested for accumulating wealth and cheating. Babaji is charged of smuggling drugs, yet Anjali considers him holy. Chapter 16. Karuna thinks she is pregnant and her husband doubts the child is Krish. He divorces her. Ritu is verbally and physically abused by Gull. She attempts suicide. Anjali takes Karuna to a hospital to abort the child. She finds out that she was never pregnant when her womb is removed because of fibroids. Ritu gets back with her husband and recovers from the abuse of Gull. Chapter 17. Karuna moves to a paying guest house. Krish meets her. He tells her that her husband has taken a mistress, Vinita. Karuna begins to work for the theatre for a small salary. Karuna is given the female lead role in the film Shakuntala, directed by Girish. Chapter 18. Karuna visits Girish in his house to discuss the film. He invites her to a party held by Varun, a famous journalist. Another actress, Anjana, lies in an interview that Girish cheated her by not giving the role of Shakuntala and gave the role to Karuna because she is his current mistress. This came out in a newspaper. Karuna is devastated. Girish sends his son Kunal to console her. Kunal tells her that his father wants to marry her. Karuna refuses. Karuna's ex-husband visits her and wants her back, unable to bear the torture of Vinny. Karuna tells him to leave. Chapter 19. Ritu invites Karuna to her farewell party for she is leaving Bombay for the hills. Everyone in the party seemed to talk about the greatness of Varun, the journalist. Varun invites Karuna and Anjali to his party. Anjali is humiliated in the party when a clown pushes her on the floor while dancing with her. Chapter 20. Karuna graduates from writing to making ad films. She makes friends with a reporter from Washington, Ranbir, who offers her a job in Washington. He wants to interview her on her experiences with the rich and make a story on it. Karuna refuses the offer. She decides to write a novel on her own life instead. The play ends with Karuna typing the manuscript of her upcoming novel, which is the story of her life. So thank you friends, hope you guys like this video. If you like the video, then hit that big fat like button and subscribe to my channel. Comment the novel which you wanted to explain. Thank you so much guys.